بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. This class is about tafsir and mufassirin. We said in the past that is ijtihad acceptable in tafsir the way it is acceptable in fiqh or not? Is ijtihad, giving your opinion, acceptable when it comes to tafsir the same way it is acceptable when it comes to fiqh? When a faqih gives his fatwa, his opinion, is it the same thing in tafsir? Or tafsir, because the Prophet said, be careful. من فسر القرآن برأيه فليتبوأ مقعده من النار. Whoever gives his personal opinion about the Quran, then let him reserve his seat in the hellfire. So it is different.
Yes, you can, as long as you follow the method.
It's the same thing.
Exactly. As long as you follow the method, the rules and regulations. If you follow the rules and regulations, the strict rules and regulations drawn to us by the Prophet, by the Imams, you follow the rules, then definitely you can give your opinion, because your opinion, is it now baseless or no? It's not baseless. It is based on these conventional methods. It is based. It is not baseless. The Prophet was speaking about someone who is baseless. Someone who gives his personal opinion without evidence. Without evidence. His desire, his hawa, what he loves. Now, we mentioned in the past that the Quran is an amazing book. Haj Nadeem. How it is amazing. We mentioned that the Quran is self-explanatory, meaning that if you come across a verse, you don't understand it. You don't understand what it means, what it says. If you go a few pages here or there, before, after, same chapter, another chapter, you will find the answer. The mystery is resolved. يفسر بعضه بعضا. Each part of it explains the other part. This is something amazing about the Quran. This is why we said yesterday, getting a verse out of context, it's very misleading. Very, very misleading. When you get the verse out of the context, or you become selective. You take one verse, but you don't look at other verses. Because these verses, they complement each other. They integrate each other. The Quran, when the Quran speaks about itself, it says, this book, let people read it so they find out about everything. How come if they read it, they don't find out about the Quran itself? They find about everything else, but not the Quran? Definitely the Quran is also among these other things. Definitely. They'll find out about it. But they need reflection, tadabbur, tafakkur. Many times, many chapters. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Why don't they reflect on this book? But because their hearts are locked? Yes, if the hearts are locked, they don't do tadabbur. They do hifz, memorization, but they don't do tadabbur. One of the stories which is popular, where we use it as an evidence of how our Imams, they used the Quran and the Hadith and the Aql in demystifying some of the verses in the Quran, or some of the rulings in the Quran. They demystify them by using the Quran itself and the Hadith and the Aql. during the time of Al-Mu'tasim Al-Abbasi, Caliph Mu'tasim, in Baghdad. He was in Baghdad. At the time of Imam Muhammad al-Jawad alayhi salatu wassalam, they captured the thief. They brought him to the palace, so before the Caliph, to implement so-called justice. And it happened that Imam al-Jawad was in that session, with other scholars of other madahib. They were in the session. One of those scholars, Ibn Abi Dawood, Sunni scholar. So the Mu'tasim, he looked at the scholars, he said, what do we do with him? How do we do ijra'ul had? How do we execute the punishment? Each one said something, but they used the verse from the Quran. Ibn Abi Dawood, the scholar, he said, Your Majesty, we have to cut his hand from the wrist here, here. Because he used in Surah Al-Ma'idah the ayah of tayammum. فإن لم تجدوا ماء فتيمموا صعيدا طيبا فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم. If you don't find water, then use the earth, صعيدا طيبا, the pure earth, and then wipe over your face and your hands. So the Quran, since the Quran used the term hand, because the ayah, what does the ayah say in the Quran? وَالسَّارِقُ وَالسَّارِقَةُ فَاقْطَعُوا أَيْدِيَهُمَا. The male thief and the female thief cut off their hands. But where is the hand? The hand has several juncture and pieces. So this guy said, I am using ayat al-tayammum. So the hand is here. The Caliph looked at others. He said, do you have another opinion? One of them said, yes, I disagree with him. I use ayatul wudu. إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق. The elbow. This is the yad. Quran says, وأيديكم. Plural of yad. Yad is singular, أيديكم plural. So the Quran is saying wudu. Why should we use the tayammum? Why should we use the tayammum? We should cut him from here.
Go for the big piece.
Huh?
Go for the big piece.
The bigger piece. The Caliph he didn't know what to say. He turned to Imam al-Jawad. He said to him, what do you say? Imam said to him, "I'fani, excuse me." Why did he say excuse me? They are asking him. He doesn't know? No, he knows. But why did he say?
Doesn't want to get involved.
Not that. The real reason is because when ignorance they speak, someone who's knowledgeable, who studied very hard. Imagine yourself. You are a doctor, he's engineer, he's technician. When kids, they speak in something and all of them are speaking nonsense, then you don't even want to get involved in this discussion. You don't lower yourself. Really, you don't lower yourself. They consider themselves to be alim, scholars, and then they, according to their hawa. This is hawa. This is the example of man fassara al-Qur'ana bi-ra'yih. Those who explain, translate the Quran according to their own understanding, which is baseless. Yes, they are bringing the ayah, but they don't have good and healthy knowledge of the entire Quran. So the Imam said, excuse me. He said, no, you have to. You have to tell me your opinion. Imam said to him, if you leave me with no choice, you say you have to, then I have to, obey you. Imam said, all of them are wrong. So, what? Wrong? So all of them, they were looking at the Imam. What does he want to say? Imam used two things, the Quran and the Hadith. he used the Quran وَأَنَّ الْمَسُورَةُ الْجِنِّ وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Surah Al-Jinn. Surah Al-Jinn. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. And he used the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is one evidence from the Quran. The second evidence, النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. What does he say? The Prophet says, السجود على سبعة أعضاء. السجود على سبعة أعضاء. And then the Prophet tells us what are these أعضاء. He says الجبهة واليدين والركبتين والرجلين. الجبهة, forehead. اليدين, the two hands. الركبتين, two knees. And الرجلين, two toes. So these are 2, 2, 2, 6 and 1, 7. So the combination of both the ayah and the riwayah. Imam al-Jawad used this. This is very clear. This one is at the time of sujood, you have to have sab'atu mawadi'. We studied this in fiqh. 7 positions have to be on the floor. Your forehead, your hands, your knees, both, and your toes. You have to place them. So this is easy, okay? So the hands have to be there. The ayah, what does the ayah say? وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدِ. It has tafsir and ta'wil. Tafsir and ta'wil. Tafsir is the apparent meaning. Masajid is the place of worship. Why do we call this masjid? Because it is a place where you put your forehead on the floor. If you have a room in your house designated for salat, you can call it masjid. If you put your forehead on the floor, you can call it masjid. Al-masjid huwa mahallu sujud. The masjid is the place of sujood. This is why it's called masjid. This is the tafsir. What is the ta'wil? The inner meaning. Is mawadi' al-sujud also are called masajid. The inner meaning. So your forehead is also masjid. Why? Because it's the subject for sujood. It's a subject where you touch, where it touches the floor. So the hands is also called masjid. فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Do not share, leave them alone. They have to be left alone. Don't share them with anyone. They should not be shared. They should not be taken away. Yes, he's a thief. He's a criminal. But still, after Tawbah, he wants to pray. Why do you deprive him from putting his hand? Of course, this is one translation, one ruling, because it is the places of worship. So the Imam said, neither from here nor from there. From where?
Fingers.
Tip of the fingers. Ashaj'. It's called ashaj' in Arabic. Ashaj'. Imam said it has to be cut from here. This is one reason for sujood. So he's left with a hand, and also he wants to work. If you cut his hand, how can he function? Then you have to pay him, put him in payroll on the social security. He becomes even worse. So you have to leave him because he's... So this is فَاسْتَحْسَنَ. The Mu'tasim al-Abbasi, he said, wow, where do you bring this? Where do you bring this, Yabna Rasulullah? You are right. He liked the opinion of the Imam. So the Imam was using the Quran itself to explain the Quran. Because the ayah says, وَالسَّارِقُ وَالسَّارِقَ فَاقْطَعُوا أَيْدِيَهُمَا. The thief, male and female, cut their hands. But how do we cut their hands? People are going to have disagreement. Imam came and he brought the ayah from the Quran to prove that it's only the tip of the fingers. Okay?
You said he also used the aq.
The aql, when you bring this and this, you have ayah, you have riwayah, you link them together. How do you link them? Through aql, through reason. Because some people, they use the Quran literally. We will come to this subject. Now, is it okay to use the Quran literally or not? This is a big discussion among the scholars. They call it حجية ظواهر الكتاب. Al-Kitab means the Quran. It means the credibility of the apparent meaning. ظواهر means apparent meaning. The apparent meaning of the book. Is it hujjah or not hujjah? Can we use it or we cannot use it? There is a huge discussion. Credibility of the apparent meaning of the book. What do you think, my friends? From so far, let's have a discussion, brief discussion here. Ayah, the apparent meaning of it. Should I use it? Work according to it? Implement this? Or no, they tell me, no. There is a meaning underneath it. You don't understand it. This is not your job.
Are we talking about ahkam also?
Everything in the Quran. Ahkam and non-ahkam. But ahkam, it's more important.
For ahkam, I believe no, because there's usually a ta'wil. For other things like say la ilaha illallah, well that's, we can take the appearance, apparently.
Okay, let me ask you this. أقيموا الصلاة. أقيموا الصلاة. Should we take the apparent meaning of it? This is ahkam. أقيموا الصلاة. This is ahkam. This is ayah of ahkam. One of the 500 ayah that speaks about ahkam. أقيموا. Establish the prayers. Should I take the literal meaning, the apparent meaning or not?
Yes.
You just said no.
Of course.
You said with the ahkam, no.
No, in this one you can.
Only in this one?
Spoken like a true follower.
But even this has ta'wil as
It's
well.
a good try. No. Good try. So, you distinguish between if the ahkam, then it needs further explanation.
Yes.
Definitely, for the details it needs. But here, do we understand from this that salat is wajib or not wajib?
Yes.
Forget about the details. The details somewhere else. It's not even in the Quran, the details, how many rak'ah. But is it wajib or not?
It is.
Then I can use the apparent meaning. Aqimu salat, it means not ta'aruf. Aqimu, if you like, aqimu. If you don't like, don't aqimu. No, it's aqimu. Aqimu amr. Do. So I can, this is hujjah then. Credible. This is credible. Hujjah, it means it will hold me accountable. The apparent meaning of the Quran will hold me accountable. What do you think, Haj Nadeem?
Well, there is some part where if you take it literally, you will go the wrong tafsir,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Wallah.
Exactly. So you say some part you can take the apparent meaning, other parts you can't. If it is mutashabih, if it is muhkam, then you can take the apparent meaning. But if it is mutashabih, no, you can't. Yes?
Yeah.
Good try. Very good. What do you think?
I totally agree. I agree the same thing.
There is a long discussion not just long in volumes, long historically over the history among the scholars as to whether this is hujjah or not hujjah. But many, the majority of them, they say yes. ظواهر الكلام hujjah as long as it is conditioned or conditional. Not just hujjah. As long as. Not just that anyone who reads the Quran says, yes, yeah, the Quran is telling me do this, then I have to do. No, but it has conditions. As long as it is in accordance with the tafsir of Ahl al-Bayt. We have to cross-examine them. And if we find evidence, Ahl al-Bayt said, the Prophet and his family, they said something about it, yes, then we can take the zahir. But if they say something, no, they have a different interpretation to the zahir. They have different interpretation to the surface meaning, then we have to follow that meaning, not the zahir anymore. The zahir is crippled, or the zahir is directed here, or translated here in this way.
And is that the case, say, then is it only overruled by the Sahih hadith or any of the hadith?
Of course, no. Any Sahih, I would tell you, the Prophet says, has hadith. The Prophet says, إِذَا بَلَغَكُمْ, if you hear, let me tell you the exact wording of the Prophet. He says, أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ, this is his khutbah in Mina. مَا جَاءَكُمْ عَنِّي, whatever you hear from me, people say the Prophet said this, يُوَافِقُ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ, in alignment with the book of God, not contradiction. فَأَنَا قُلْتُهُ, this means yes, I said it. If it is in agreement with the book of God, then I have said it. وَمَا جَاءَكُمْ يُخَالِفُ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ فَلَمْ أَقُلْهُ. If it goes against what is in the book of God, then I have not said that. Imam al-Sadiq says, كُلُّ شَيْءٍ مَرْدُودٌ إِلَى الْكِتَابِ وَالسُّنَّةِ. Every sentence, every hadith, we cross-examine it by the Quran itself and the Sunnah of the Prophet. If it has some roots in the book, in the Quran and the Sunnah, we accept it. If not, we send it back to the person who brought it. فَهُوَ زُخْرُفٌ, حرف مزخرف, fabrication. If it is not in agreement with the authentic Sunnah and the Book of God, then it is nonsense. فَمَا وَافَقَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ فَخُذُوهُ, the Prophet says. Whatever it's in agreement with the Book of God, accept it. وَمَا خَالَفَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ فَدَعُوهُ, throw it away if it goes against the Book of God. Some people say, no. Very few, minority. They say we can't. They are not credible. The zahir of the book is not credible. We have to look and search only for the batin. But this is not right. Why it's not right? Because Allah wants you to understand the book. Yes, this book has secrets, right. This book, people are different in their understanding, is right. But overall, this book is for us to understand it. This is why he's telling us, tadabbur, do the tadabbur, you will find the meaning. If I do the tadabbur and I don't find the meaning, why I'm wasting my time? Why he's asking me to do the tadabbur? Why he's asking me to study? Because even if I study, I'm not going to find the answer. So why he's wasting my time? But he's not wasting my time. He says, if you want to find the answer, the ruling, do the tadabbur. Practice tadabbur. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ فإنما يسرناه بلسانك لعلهم يتذكرون. Maybe they reflect. ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر. We made this Quran easy for those who have aql and a brain and reason. Are you among those? Would you use your reason in this book to study the book? So these are verses. And this is why the Prophet, even in his hadith, he says, if you are searching for the answer, go to the Quran. But go and study the Quran. Don't just read it. Study the Quran will give you the answer. And the hadith of the Prophet, this is a beautiful hadith. ما أنعم الله على عبد بعد الإيمان بالله أفضل من العلم بكتاب الله والمعرفة بتأويله. No gift God has given to a person after the belief in Him than knowing the Quran and the ma'rifah, the understanding of the ta'wil of the Quran, the inner meaning. That's the best gift that God has ever given to the people. Now, an example of tadabbur. Can we get one or two examples of how we do tadabbur and how we find the answer? Through tadabbur. Through the tadabbur. My friends, you know that there is disagreement when it comes to the wudu between the Shi'as and the Sunnis in 2 or 3 places. One of them is in the Ahlul Bayt tradition. They wipe part of the head, not the entire head. And they wipe the feet, they don't wash. Where is this? Zurara ibn A'yun, one of the iconic students, this is very intelligent student. He said, I went to the Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. I said to him, Ya ibn Rasulullah, tell me, how do we do this? Because there were other madahib at that time. Were doing it differently. Imam al-Sadiq, he smiled. He said, Ya Zurara, it's in the Quran. You are intelligent, it's in the Quran. You don't even have to go to the hadith of the Prophet, neither the Sunnah. Even if you don't know how the Prophet did it, the Quran would tell you. I said to him, how, Ibn Rasulullah? He said, read the Quran. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق. Imam read the Quran for him and he was doing tadabbur, studying the Quran, bit by bit. He said, God said, اغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم. So we know, we have to wash, اغسل, wash the face and the arms. Now the Sunnis, of course, they do it this way. They say إلى المرافق. But إلى does not mean, it means up to. Not to, up to. You have to add up. Because yad is big. Yad is up to here. This is called yad. So how should I wash it from here? No. Not from here. Up to the elbows. Up. So you begin from here. Not from here. Not from there. Up. Not the other way around. This is other way around. It's like someone standing in the shower upside down. He's beginning with his feet and then his head is down. You don't do this. You wash it from here, but up to here, not more than that. Okay? إلى المرافق. So Allah says, wash your face and your hands. اغسلوا. And then, وأيديكم إلى المرافق فوصل اليدين إلى المرفقين بالوجه. So God linked to the hands, the arms with the face in one sentence. فعرفنا أنه ينبغي لهما أن يغسلا إلى المرفقين. We know that the arms has to be washed like the face. Face is washing and arms are washed up to the elbows. ثم فصل بين الكلام. Then he started another sentence. He said, وامسحوا برؤوسكم. The ayah. وامسحوا. Wipe some برؤوسكم. Ba is part, not all. He could have said وَامْسَحُوا رُؤُوسَكُمْ. وَامْسَحُوا رُؤُوسَكُمْ. But he didn't say. You can say in Arabic وَامْسَحُوا. It's in fact easier to say وَامْسَحُوا رُؤُوسَكُم. Easier. But why did he use ba? بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ. Do you want me to write it or you can imagine it? You can imagine? بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ. Not وَامْسَحُوا رُؤُوسَكُمْ. وَامْسَحُوا, wipe. بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ, part of your heads. فعرفنا حين قال برؤوسكم أن المسح ببعض الرأس لمكان الباء. We know from the Quran, simple reading. This is apparent. We said apparent. This is apparent. That it is part of the head, not the entire head. Because ba is there. And ba, when ba is used, I say, أغا يا واعزي أعطني ببعض مالك. Give me some of your money. I didn't say أعطني مالك. When I say أعطني مالك, give me your money. But I am bringing B. B in the beginning, it means some. Give me some. Like in English when we say, give me some. Some does not mean the entire. Then why God is using some here? If he wants me to wipe the whole head, why he's bringing an extra letter in the Quran? There is nothing extra in the Quran. Nothing. برؤوسكم. فعرفنا ثم وصل الرجلين بالرأس, and also linked the feet with the head. كما وصل اليدين بالوجه, the same way he did with the arms and the face. And he said وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين. It's wasl, connected. So in the same way that you wipe part of the head, not the entire head, in the same fashion you wipe part of the feet.
What's the link there? What is it that links them?
وأرجلكم, واو wasl, عطف. They call it عطف. عطف means wasl, to connect. وأرجلكم فعرفنا حين وصلهما بالرأس أن المسح على بعضهما. We know from the Quran, plain Quran, this is plain Quran, that the wiping is not the entire feet. You don't wash, but you wipe part of the feet. Therefore, the Imam is saying with one letter here. برؤوسكم, B. رؤوسكم, ba, and then wa. Wow is linked. Wasl, connected to this. Arjulakum. So two things he used, two letters. One, letter number one, to know it's part of, some or part. Okay? And wow, wasl, so do exactly what you did with this. Do with your feet what you did with your head.
So ba applies to arjulakum as well.
Yes, yeah, because this is atf. It's like saying wabi arjulikum. Atf in the Arabic grammar. Using aql, grammar, and Quran to find out the answer.
Whereas before that, the Rasulukum, it didn't have a wa.
Yes.
Right? Is that what that
Yeah.
doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's two sentences. When you read the Quran, see, إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة, when you stand for prayers, فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق.
Period.
This is period. Of course, there is period. Stop. اغسلوا وجوهكم, wash your hands and your arms up to the elbows. إلى المرافق. وامسحوا. This is not عطف. This is continuity, because wow, you can use it for atf and continuity. Are you with me? Yes. Wow has several purposes. If you study the grammar, wow have several purposes. One of them is atf. جاء, أميد, and وواعظي. So I don't have to say twice جاء. I say one جاء, one verb, came, أميد came, I don't have to say واعظي came. No. جاء أميد وواعظي. This is عطف. This is wasl. Yeah, wasl and atf, same thing. Okay? Meaning that Umid came and wa'adhi came. But I used one verb here. I don't have to repeat the verb. But then I can say, today I went to San Diego, I had lunch. خلاص. I had lunch. Alhamdulillah. We enjoyed the lunch. وذهبت إلى SeaWorld. And also, this is a new sentence. But continuity, it means that in the same journey. In the same journey, I had lunch, my sentence stopped there, and then I want to continue this sentence, and I went to SeaWorld. This is another sentence, but continuity. And another new sentence has nothing to do with the first one. Another action I did. Are you with me? Another. Lunch was one action, one act. Going to wherever, to the zoo for Salatul Rahim is another act. Yeah.
So that Y in Salawat is the same. It's the West.
Which
Allahumma
salah?
salli ala Muhammadin wa
Ali Muhammad. Yeah.
connects both.
Atf. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
become the same
Salli.
item.
Yeah. Allahumma salli, the verb is salli,
Exactly.
upon Muhammad, and salli upon al Muhammad. So you don't say wasalli ala al. No. Wow, this is atf. Yeah.
Make it one item.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So this is Imam was trying to give an answer that even if you don't have Sunnatun Nabi, of course with the evidence we have the Sunnah supports this. The Prophet used to wipe. And then the third caliph. This is not the second caliph. Washing was the job of Uthman ibn Affan. He said this is more appropriate. People come from the wood, from the street, mud, this. So they have to wash. It's better. Yes, well, if you speak about hygiene, definitely. Although nowadays they say it's not good because all these carpets are wet and they're going to have molds in the future. And it's not good for your feet, walking on wet carpet. Okay?
It's just difficult. It's one of those things.
Yes.
So Sayyid, I guess using the same rationale of what the Imam is saying, to use the apparent reason, wouldn't the washing this way then make more sense?
No.
Because it's saying
Why?
wash up to, so you start here and wash up to.
Up to, no. Up to, it means how up. If someone asks God, you said, I want to wash your hand. Up to where I should wash it? Up to here, up to there, up to there, up to there, up to there. These are all hands. Allah says up to the marafiq. It means from here down.
From up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so it's from up to.
From up to,
Oh,
yes.
It says from. Up
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Because there's a difference from
Yeah.
up to and
No,
from
no.
up to.
No. From up to.
Well, then that makes it
Yeah,
more clear.
yeah.
That's from here.
And then also aql. If we want to wash something, we wash it up to down or down to up.
Right.
Definitely up to down.
More logical.
Aql. Use aql. Use your
Again,
aql.
they group them together. Face and hands.
Mm-hmm.
Face you go like that, so hands the same way.
Exactly. From up to down.
You would
And then you
wash
go
it
to.
this way.
Exactly. Nobody washes his face this way. I haven't seen, someone. So it has to be from here to here, the same way, with the face from here to here, to the chin, from the elbow to the tip of the hands. Now, my friends, let me take one more thing in the Quran, and because we have another more elaboration on the Wahir al-Quran, because there is, in the Shia tradition we have usuliyun and akhbariyun, two traditions. Now akhbariyin,
Gone, yeah.
they don't exist anymore now, but they existed up to some time ago. The majority of the Imamis were usuliyin. Minority were akhbariyin. The difference, there are theories written about them, books, even in English. Even here, PhDs in America, in Europe, they have written about the usulis and the akhbaris and the clash between them, the race between them, the disagreements and the agreements. Some people say the akhbariyin or akhbariyun, they do not depend on Zawahir al-Kitab. They say it's not hujjah. We take only from the Imams. We don't look at the book. The book cannot be a proof without the Imam. The Imam has to give me the answer. I only accept an answer from the Imam. This is why I have no ijtihad in tafsir.
They don't have taqleed.
Huh?
They don't have taqleed even.
Yes. In fact, they have. They follow their leaders. But the leaders, they take the verdicts and the fatwas from the Imam. They can't do ijtihad. This is why it's problematic, because you come to a situation the Imam never said anything about it. So who is going to give you the
Current
answer?
situation.
Yeah, current situation. This is why they disappeared. Because they can't continue. Okay? But then we will study, inshallah, in the next lesson that many of their leaders, like the Istrabadi, Muhammad Amin Istrabadi, Ni'matullah Jazairi, or the Lebanese, Wasa'il al-Shia, al-Hurr al-Amili, he was Akhbari, Wasa'il al-Shia. He's one of their leaders. Those, they say, no. This has been misunderstood, this concept. So they clarify it for us. We will leave, because it has some details. We will leave it for next lesson, inshallah. But let me conclude with another verse of the Quran, where you can draw from it many rulings by reading the Quran. Reading the Quran and listen to this story. Someone came to the Imam and said to him, Yabna Rasulullah, I tripped and I cut my finger here. This part is cut or injured or something happened to it. And I put a bandage. And I want to do wudu. So what should I do here in this case? I can't do wudu here because this part is wrapped. It's bandaged. So فَكَيْفَ أَصْنَعُ بِالْوُضُوء? How do I perform my wudu? Imam gave him not just a specific answer, but also a general answer to this situation and similar situations. He said you can find it in the book of God, the answer. يُعْرَفُ هَذَا وَأَشْبَاهُهُ مِنْ كِتَابِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. The answer here in your situation and similar, أشباهه means similar to it, is found in the book of God. So the man said, where? In the book of God. The Imam read this ayah to him. ما جعل عليكم سورة الحج. This is in Surah Al-Hajj. ما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. God did not place upon you in matters of religion, no hardship has God placed upon you in the matter of religion. Haraj means difficulty and hardship. ما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. So امسح عليه. Imam said, wipe. You don't have to wash it because it's wounded. It's wounded. It hurts. If you want to wash it while it could get what? Contaminated, or it could get worse. So you may cover it, but you may, what we call it jabira, imsah alayh. So this is, we take from this verse that أن آية رفع الحجر نفي الحرج تدل على رفع التكليف. أن آية نفي الحرج ما جعل عليكم نفي الحرج. It means God does not place on you hardship or difficulty. على رفع التكليف, رفع التكليف. What do we understand from it? That taklif is removed from you. So you can find an alternative. Now let me ask you a couple of questions. If it is too cold, too cold, freezing, and let's say you don't have warm water at home or hot water at home, early morning, 5 a.m., you want to do wudu, and it is really freezing outside. You are in a tent, you are in an apartment, you are in New York City, wherever. But not in Southern California, of course, for the next 500 years. So, what do you do here? If you can't take it, you can't do wudu, you freeze. You could get sick. Even if you don't get sick, you start shivering. For 2 hours you start shivering. What is the alternative? ما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. What do you do? Tayammum.
You go to the alternative.
This is one of the places that tayammum is an alternative. There is water, but it's too cold. Too cold. I can't take it beyond my physical ability. Or I have to walk, or I have to knock at parents, at neighbors' door. 5 a.m. if you knock at their door, what will happen? They will call 911. Or they think that something scary happened, something, wrong happened. So in this case, you do tayammum. You don't have, let's say, in your room, you don't have in your room. And it's not possible. It's not possible to ask from the neighbors. Not 5 a.m. Maybe during the day you can knock at their door. But 5 a.m. you can't. This is another situation. Or another situation of haraj. You have water which is barely enough for you to drink. Let's say you are in a hotel, in a room, water is not available. Or in Muzdalifah, why do you go too far? I've seen this. In Muzdalifah, when you come from Arafat, at the time of Fajr, people are lining up in the front of the bathroom. It takes you an hour at least an hour to get to your turn. And you can't wait. And you have barely this much, or even less, let's say less, to drink and to do tathir if you want to sit outside. And then the rest, nothing is left for wudu. In that case, what do? Same thing, tayammum. Tayammum. ما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. Same thing with the prayers on the chair, in the airplane. Some people say, no, how can I'm not going to do my prayers, or they have to go to first class to ask the flight attendant. And the flight attendant will tell him, go back, sit there. Someone was telling me, no, I speak with the captain, my right to... I said, but you can't. You didn't pay for first class. This quarter is reserved for the first class passengers. You didn't pay. How can you go there and invade their,
Actually, it happened when they took him in jail because you are sitting in a place, it's not...
Does not belong to you.
Disturbing people.
Nowadays, you know what they say in the airplane? Use the bathroom in your section. So if you are sitting in the last section of the airplane, don't come to or if you are sitting in the front, don't come to the last. In your section. Because of, do you hear this sometimes? They make these announcements. Yeah. So here you sit on the chair, on the seat, your own seat, and do your salat. ما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. This is few of the examples. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.